to everyone. My name is Karen.
And my name is Victor.
And welcome to another episode of Inform Tech.
In this episode, this is a special episode. We will talk about gender equality in some parts in South Asia, especially in Pakistan.
But what is gender equality? Gender equality aims to achieve equality between men and women. When we're talking about gender equality, we have a lot of things in common between men and women, but they are not respected by the other ones. So that's why we have a special guest today.
And she comes from Pakistan, Asa Khan. Welcome.
Welcome to our program. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. Today I'm going to inform you about the situation that is going on in my country of general inequality.
Okay, Asa, we're going to start with some simple questions about the topic, gender equality. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Growing up in Pakistan, there was always violence surrounding us, and it was most towards women in general. At the age of 14, I was forced to leave secondary school, where I wanted to go and pursue my dreams. In there, after leaving school, I was forced to get married to an older man I didn't even know, and who had already had 2 more wives. In there, I suffered violence, denigration, and a lot of physical and emotional damage. In there, we were treated as objects. We were forced to do things we didn't want to. We were hitting in the street, and no one would do anything. And why is that? Because there is no equality in our country, and I think that is something that should be changed.
And a lot of girls, teenagers, consider you like as an inspiration because like they are passing the same situation that you have just passed, and you were like a real role model for them to be like, okay, you know what, I suffered this, but I can surpass it, and I can be a real big human woman, and I can demonstrate to the other ones that I could do the same things as the men do. So that's like a really important teaching for us.
And actually make a benefit for the society. So Asa, can you tell us a bit of an historical background of this problem in your country?
The gender inequality in Pakistan can be traced down to the remote times. This gender inequality was caused by the religious and social beliefs of the country. What let the conflict appear was a very little intervention and stabilization of the women themselves. Socially and religiously, women are considered inferior. So it is an idea that has been growing for years, and that is now normal for women to be considered inferior and to be treated that way.
Okay. What about the Taliban that they interfere in this concept about gender equality in your country? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Taliban were condemned internationally for the brutal repression of women. In areas they control, the Taliban issued edicts which forbade women from being educated. Girls were forced to leave schools and colleges. Those who wished to leave their home to go shopping had to be accompanied by a male relative and were required to wear the burqa. Those who appeared to disobey were publicly beaten. Employment for women was restricted to the medical sector because male medical personnel were not allowed to treat women and girls. One result of the banning of employment by the Taliban was the closing down in places like Kabul of primary schools, not only for girls but for boys, because almost all the teachers there were women.
So we're going to talk a little bit about these organizations. They are all NGOs, non-governmental organizations who they don't like, they're not asking for money or they're not getting anything. They just want to help. One of these organizations who is really common and who everyone knows is about UNESCO. UNESCO works on his principal objective, which is to educate these women and give them school and, as I said, education so they can help themselves just to surpass their limits.
APWA, which stands for All Pakistan Women's Association. This is an organization that identifies itself as a leading women's service-oriented organization that aims for a mission to raise voice against all social injustices and forms of discriminations against women's rights.
And we also have DWA, who is Democratic Women's Association, who is committed to work for democracy, gender equality, and rights for women all around the world. And we also know about Asakan, who is part of Malala's Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about this and your story, how you get there, and all the situation that
What
you
inspired you
passes?
to get to an organization?
Well, as a victim who was forced to leave school at a very young age, I had a lot of dreams that I wanted to pursue. I wanted to be someone. I wanted to have a job. I wanted to have the opportunity to be someone better in my society. But unfortunately, I was forced to leave my aspirations. And this is why I decided to join the Malala Fund, because her advocation is to make a world where girls can be who they want to be. Less than a fifth of Pakistani women have been to secondary school, compared to over half of the Indian women. War violence drastically reduced opportunities for girls to continue with their education. In areas of conflict, girls and women are the most vulnerable. Girls are 90% more likely to be out of secondary school than those living in areas without violence. Secondary education for girls can transform countries and our world. It is an investment in economic growth, a healthier workforce, lasting peace, and the future of our planet. We work in regions where the most girls miss out on secondary education. Our priority countries are Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, Nigeria, and countries housing Syrian refugees, like Lebanon and Jordan.
Seeing all of this conflict about gender inequality all around the world, specifically in South Asia, Pakistan, we were planning here with Victor
Yes.
of making a campaign all around here, the campus. In Verbtech, it's going to promote it, and it has a hashtag which is raise awareness.
Yes, this campaign is especially to raise awareness towards the student community about this problem, to get them know.
So now we're gonna pass to Felix.
Hi. Well, I think that the human rights of the women in that places are not respected and are not taken in account the rights, because their voices are like nothing for the men in that zone.
I think that there's no gender equality in Pakistan because they see the women like an inferior human being for men, because they think that like she is an object, like they have to do what they say, and it doesn't have the same value as men.
So I think this is the end of this episode. As I can, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. As we mentioned before, if you can do something in your society to make gender equality more prominent, please do it. It is something that has to be well resolved. We as humans, we have to fight for our rights and fight for what is equal. So, yeah.
So this is all for today. I don't know if you wanted to add anything about
Hashtag raise for awareness.
hashtag raise for awareness. And well, as we can see, as again just told us, it's really important to maintain the gender equality all around the world. And you that are from here, you need to share this to the other ones, because it's a really good topic to talk about. There are a lot of debates, there are a lot of issues who talk about this, but we are not doing anything. There are a lot of organizations, but we're not following. We're not going there. So if you know someone who's suffering gender inequality here around us, please raise for awareness, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Bye.
I support women. Hashtag
Raise awareness.
Hashtag raise awareness.
Hashtag raise awareness.
Hashtag raise awareness.